The first time Dr. Lena Hartwell saw her, the girl was standing alone in the field behind Lena's rural home, just where the forest began to rise in thick folds of shadow and light. It was a clear night, with the Milky Way draped across the sky like a veil of diamonds. Lena, an astrophysicist, had taken to spending her evenings stargazing, trying to untangle the mysteries of the universe from her own backyard. But tonight, the universe had decided to bring a mystery directly to her. The girl was small, perhaps not more than 10 years old, her skin pale as moonlight, with hair that shimmered with an iridescent quality under the starlight. It wasn't just her appearance that was unusual. It was also the way she stood there, perfectly still, staring at Lena's house as if she was measuring it for some unfathomable purpose. "Hello?" Lena called out tentatively as she approached the child, her heart pounding not just with caution but also curiosity. The girl turned towards her, and in her eyes, Lena saw the depth of the cosmos, a swirling mix of stars and darkness that seemed impossible. "I need family," the girl said simply, her voice melodic but tinged with an unmistakable accent of sorrow and desperation. Unearthly origins. Over the next few hours, Lena learned more about her unexpected visitor. Her name was Alara, and she claimed to have come from a distant planet, a world destroyed by a catastrophic event that she described only in vague, nightmarish details. Alara spoke of her journey to Earth in a small escape pod, an odyssey that took months or perhaps years. The details seemed to blur in her mind. "What brought you to my door?" Lena asked as they sat on the porch, a blanket wrapped around Alara's slight shoulders. "I saw the light," Alara replied, looking towards the house. "It felt like home." Lena's scientific mind battled with her empathy. The astronomer in her screamed for logical, empirical evidence of Alara's origins, but the human in her, perhaps the potential mother, felt a pull towards the girl's plight. Decision. The decision to take Alara in for the night was simple in the end. Lena couldn't leave a child alone in the wilderness, no matter her origin. She set up a guest room, noting how Alara looked at everything with an intense curiosity, as if memorizing the layout, the items, the very fabric of what might become her new home. That night, Lena lay awake, her mind racing with questions. Who was this girl? What was her true nature? Could her story possibly be true? And what would it mean for Lena's quiet life if it were? The soft sounds of Alara's sleep through the baby monitor she had set up did little to ease her mind. Instead, they were a constant reminder of the great responsibility she had taken on, a responsibility not just to protect this strange lost girl, but perhaps to also understand her, to help her find her place on this new world. The next morning. The morning brought with it a barrage of questions from Alara that Lena struggled to answer. What was cereal? Why did the sun rise from the east? How did the television work? Each question seemed to open up a whole universe of dialogue between earthly knowledge and alien curiosity. As they sat at breakfast, Lena observed Alara mimicking her actions, the way she held a spoon, the way she sipped her coffee. It was clear Alara was learning, adapting, absorbing everything she could about human behavior. But it was Alara's next question that stopped Lena's heart for a moment. "Will you be my family?" she asked, her voice small, her eyes wide and hopeful. Lena knew that whatever decision she made next would change her life forever. The bond forms. By the end of that first day, Lena had contacted Child Services to report finding Alara, but she found herself omitting the girl's more fantastical claims. She requested time to consider becoming Alara's foster parent, a decision that felt increasingly right to her. The bond between them grew quickly, as if they were being driven by forces beyond their understanding. Lena taught Alara about Earth, about humanity, about the fragile beauty of life on this planet. In return, Alara shared stories of her world, tales of vast landscapes and celestial wonders, now lost forever. As Lena listened, she realized that taking Alara in was not just about giving her a home. It was about preserving a fragment of a distant star, a culture, a life that the universe had otherwise swallowed whole. And so, as the stars watched silently from above, a new family began to form, one born not just of circumstance, but of cosmic destiny. Lena's home soon transformed into a nexus of earthly learning and interstellar revelations. Each day, Ilara absorbed her surroundings with the fervor of a scholar. Her questions grew more complex, delving into physics, biology, and the nuances of human emotion. Lena, in turn, adapted her explanations to suit the learning curve of a being who saw the world through the lens of different physical laws and societal norms. One afternoon, while discussing the principles of gravity, Ilara revealed how her people used gravitational fields for transportation. "We could bend the gravity like you fold a blanket and step across vast distances as if they were mere steps." Her eyes sparkled with the memory, a hint of melancholy for her lost world seeping through. Misunderstandings and revelations. The complexity of their coexistence wasn't without its misunderstandings. One evening, as they watched a thunderstorm from the porch, Ilara seemed perplexed by Lena's calm fascination with the lightning. "In my world, storms were harbingers of destruction, not beauty," she explained, her voice tinged with a fear that seemed ingrained by past traumas. Lena took her hand, a gesture of comfort, and spoke of Earth's natural phenomena as spectacles to be admired, understanding slowly dawning between them. This exchange led to a deeper connection, opening doors to discussions about their respective cultures. Lena shared stories of Earth's diverse ecosystems and societies, while Ilara spoke of her planet's traditions, where celestial events dictated the rhythms of daily life and governance. Technological exchange. Their bond deepened further when Ilara began to share more about her technological heritage. Intrigued by Lena's telescope, she suggested enhancements based on her own world's advanced optics. Together they modified the telescope, integrating a makeshift version of Ilara's alien technology. The first time they gazed through the upgraded lens, the stars seemed to unfold before them, revealing details of distant galaxies that left Lena breathless. "This is how I saw the universe from my home," Ilara whispered, a mix of pride and sorrow in her voice. Lena, moved by the shared moment, realized that this project had done more than enhance her view of the stars. It had bridged two worlds in a way she hadn't imagined possible. The learning continues. Days turned into weeks, and Ilara became a fixture at the local school, her presence a curiosity that evolved into admiration. She adapted quickly, surpassing her peers in subjects like mathematics and science, though she approached social studies and literature with an endearing caution. Lena observed Ilara's interactions with other children, her initial hesitance giving way to a tentative acceptance. It was during a school presentation about space that Ilara truly shone, sharing her first-hand experiences of cosmic phenomena. Her classmates listened, rapt, as she described the colors of nebulae, not just from pictures, but from memories. An unexpected challenge. Their tranquil routine faced its first major challenge when a mysterious figure began asking about Ilara in the local community. He was a man of indeterminate age, his questions laced with an intensity that suggested a deeper knowledge of Ilara's origins. Lena tightened security around her home and took precautions to safeguard Ilara's privacy, but the strain of vigilance wore on them both. One night, under the safety of the stars they now both called home, Ilara turned to Lena with a mix of fear and resolve in her eyes. "I think they are looking for me, the ones who said we should not escape, but I am glad I am here with you." Lena, understanding the gravity of the situation, assured her, "We're in this together no matter what comes." As they stood together, watching the sky, Lena felt a fierce protectiveness over her new family, forged not by blood but by the shared stardust of their beings. She knew the road ahead might be fraught with challenges, but the bond they had established was unbreakable. Rooted in the vast and mysterious cosmos they continued to explore together. The presence of the mysterious figure catalyzed a new urgency in Lena. She began delving deeper into security measures, not only physical but digital, to protect Ilara. The enhancement of their home's defenses included state-of-the-art surveillance and encrypted communications, Elements Lena learned swiftly, driven by the necessity to shield her newfound family. As they fortified their home, Ilara became more introspective, her usual barrage of questions slowing to a thoughtful trickle. She spent long hours gazing at the stars through their modified telescope, perhaps seeking the comfort of the familiar in the celestial bodies she had once roamed among. A clash of worlds. One evening, as Lena was reviewing security footage, she spotted the man again, lurking near the edge of their property. His persistence was alarming. With each appearance, his determination seemed to grow, as if he was closing in on the truth he sought about Ilara. The situation escalated until Lena felt they had no choice but to confront him. Preparing for all possibilities, Lena approached the local authorities with her concerns. However, without concrete evidence of a threat, their response was frustratingly noncommittal. It was clear they would have to handle things on their own. That night, under the cloak of darkness, Lena and Ilara set up a trap for the mysterious stalker. They used Ilara's alien technology to create a holographic projection of Ilara in the backyard, while they hid themselves in the shadows of the porch. The man took the bait. As he approached the hologram, Lena stepped out and confronted him, her voice steady but firm. "Why are you following us? What do you want?" His answer was cryptic. "She doesn't belong here. You don't understand what she represents." Secrets revealed. Ilara emerged from the shadows, her figure illuminated by the porch light, her expression one of calm defiance. "I belong with Lena. She is my family now." The man's demeanor shifted as he looked directly at Ilara. "There are others who are searching for you, not just me. They won't stop until they bring you back. It's not safe for you here or for anyone around you." This revelation was a chilling one, hinting at a larger conflict involving Ilara. Lena, gripping her resolve, demanded, "Who are these people? Why are they after her?" He hesitated, then, as if deciding they deserved the truth, he said, "Ilara is not just any survivor. She carries knowledge, abilities that could change the balance of power in the cosmos. She escaped from a consortium that wants to exploit her, to control the technologies she is heir to." Alliance formed understanding. The gravity of his words, Lena knew they had to be smarter and more strategic. "If you know so much about her, why haven't you taken her back yourself?" "I've been watching, assessing if you could truly protect her. She needs more than a hiding place. She needs allies," he confessed. With a cautious truce forming, they invited the man inside to discuss a plan of action. His knowledge about the forces pursuing Ilara could be invaluable, but his allegiance was yet to be fully trusted. As they sat around the kitchen table, a makeshift war room, Ilara spoke up. "We need to be one step ahead of them, always." Lena nodded, her mind racing with strategies and contingencies. "Then let's make sure we are." Together they began to weave a network of safety and intelligence, preparing to stand against whatever might come from the stars to claim Ilara. Her safety cemented their unlikely alliance, turning a night of confrontation into the beginning of a formidable partnership. As they planned, the sky outside watched silently, the stars twinkling as if in approval of their resolve. The days that followed were marked by a rigorous training regimen, designed by the man who had once stalked them, now known as Marcus. Lena and Ilara learned defensive tactics, cybersecurity measures beyond the conventional, and the rudimentary handling of technology that could mask their digital footprints from those who sought Ilara across the galaxies. Marcus, with his detailed knowledge of interstellar tracking systems, showed them how to disrupt scanners that could detect Ilara's unique biosignatures. These are not just random seekers. They are part of an elite recovery unit specializing in reacquiring what they believe to be their property, he explained, as they adjusted the settings on a device that looked like a cross between a satellite dish and a computer server, adapting to new realities. Ilara, meanwhile, took to these lessons with a mix of eagerness and somber understanding. She was not just learning to protect herself. She was learning to fight a battle she had never chosen. Lena watched her young charge grow in capability, but also in weight. Weight of knowing her very existence sparked cosmic conflicts. During one of the training sessions, Ilara paused, looking at Lena with a seriousness beyond her years. Lena, if they ever catch up to us, you must continue your work. What we've discovered together, it can benefit Earth in ways we haven't even imagined. Lena's response was firm, her determination unyielding. No one is catching anyone. We're in this together, remember? Enhancing their defenses. Their home now bristled with more than just advanced locks and surveillance cameras. It contained hidden rooms and escape routes, all designed by Marcus with inputs from both Lena and Alara. They practiced emergency drills, simulating scenarios where they had to evade capture or defend their home from intruders. One evening, as they tested a new cloaking device around their property, Alara suddenly tensed, her eyes narrowing as she looked towards the horizon. They're closer than we thought. I can feel it. Lena trusted Alara's senses, honed by her alien heritage to detect disruptions in the normal flow of space-time, a skill that had once guided her safely to Earth. Unexpected assistance. Their preparation took an unexpected turn when Marcus arranged a meeting with a few of his trusted allies, individuals who also opposed the consortium's overreach. They gathered in Lena's living room, a group of humans and a couple of beings who, like Alara, were not from Earth. Among them was Taryn, a scientist who specialized in quantum mechanics, and Kale, a navigator who had once piloted starships through wormholes. We've seen the consortium's work across star systems. They consume and control, Taryn said, her voice a blend of anger and resolve. But knowledge like Alara's, should be free, not fettered. They shared strategies and technology, creating a mesh of alliances that spanned star systems. Their network was a tapestry of rebellion against the consortium's authoritarian grip on knowledge and power, preparing for the inevitable. As they fortified their defenses and expanded their alliances, the group also worked on spreading disinformation, sending decoy signals into the cosmos to mislead the consortium's trackers. Lena learned to navigate this new landscape of cosmic espionage, her role as a protector expanding into realms she had once only observed through her telescope. Marcus, now more an ally than a mysterious figure, watched over their progress with a seasoned eye. "They will come," he murmured one evening as they all looked up at the stars, now less a symbol of wonder, and more a canvas of impending conflict. "But we will be ready, not just to defend, but to challenge the very grounds they believe they stand on." As the night deepened, and the stars glimmered with distant fires, Lena, Alara, and their newfound allies stood united. Their home, a fortress of knowledge and sanctuary, was ready to face whatever forces might emerge from the dark depths of space, their bonds of unity and purpose strong and unyielding. The tension that had been building reached its zenith on a night when the air buzzed with electric anticipation. Alara, more attuned to the cosmic flows than ever, was the first to sense their approach. "They're here," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the wind that started to pick up, as if the earth itself responded to the intrusion. Marcus activated the perimeter defenses, a complex network of energy shields and optical illusions designed to disorient and delay any unauthorized entry. Lena monitored the surveillance feeds, her eyes darting across screens that flickered with the movement of shadows cast by the cloaking devices. First contact. It wasn't long before they detected movement at the edge of the forest, a group of figures cloaked in darkness, moving with purposeful stealth. "Contact," Lena announced, her hand steady on the console. Marcus nodded, signaling to Taryn and Kale, who were positioned strategically around the property. The intruders attempted to penetrate the perimeter, but the defenses held, creating a bewildering maze of light and sound that left them disoriented. Utilizing this advantage, Kale, using non-lethal force, managed to incapacitate several of the intruders, their forms collapsing into the underbrush. The standoff. As the initial wave retreated, a second group emerged, this one more cautious, clearly aware of the failed attempt by their predecessors. They halted at the boundary, and from their midst stepped forward a figure that radiated authority. "Enough of this," the figure spoke, their voice cutting through the night. "We are not here to engage in battle, but to reclaim what belongs to the consortium." Alara stepped forward, flanked by Lena and Marcus. "I'm not a belonging. I am free and I choose to stay here," she declared, her voice resonant and strong. The leader, unmoved by Alara's defiance, replied, "You do not understand the consequences of your choice. You, child, are pivotal to a conflict that spans more than just your life. Come with us, and no harm will come to your family." Negotiations ensued under the starlit sky. Lena argued passionately about Earth's sovereignty and Alara's right to choose her destiny. Marcus, with his tactical mind, laid out the potential for a diplomatic resolution that could benefit both parties without resorting to further hostilities. The consortium's representative was hesitant, but it was clear the standoff could not continue indefinitely without attracting attention that neither party desired. "We will consider your proposal," the leader finally conceded, signaling for a temporary retreat. "But know this, our patience is not infinite, and our reach is long." The aftermath. With the immediate threat temporarily abated, the group returned to the safety of the house, their spirits worn but unbroken. Alara, in particular, felt the weight of the night's events, her sense of belonging fiercely intertwined with her autonomy. "I never wanted to bring danger here," she admitted as they gathered in the living room. Lena reassured her with a firm embrace. "What matters is that we faced it together. This is what family does." They spent the rest of the night reinforcing their defenses and expanding their surveillance, knowing well that the respite might be brief. Taryn and Kale worked on refining the cloaking technologies, while Marcus established secure lines of communication with their allies across the stars. The battle might have been halted, but the war loomed large. Yet in the heart of their fortified sanctuary, there was a palpable sense of unity and resolve. They had stood together against a formidable foe, and in doing so, they had strengthened the bonds that tied them not just to each other, but to the cause of defending one young girl's choice to live freely among the stars. As dawn broke over the horizon, casting a soft glow on their beleaguered home, a new development unfolded. Reinforcements arrived, not from the consortium, but from the network of allies that Marcus had been quietly rallying. Ships, barely visible against the morning sky, hovered just out of standard detection range, a silent testament to the solidarity they had inspired. With these new forces came more than just additional protection. They brought with them crucial information. A defector from the consortium, risking much to meet them, delivered data that could potentially alter the course of their conflict. The consortium fears what Alara represents, not just for their own power, but for the balance of the universe, the defector explained. Her knowledge and abilities could catalyze changes they are not prepared to manage. Strategic countermeasures. Empowered by this new information, the group convened to strategize their next move. They needed a plan that would not only safeguard Alara but also leverage her unique capabilities to shift the dynamics of power. If we can demonstrate that her knowledge can benefit others, perhaps we can forge more alliances and decrease the consortium's influence, Taryn proposed. Alara, understanding the role she had to play, worked alongside Lena and Taryn to prepare a detailed presentation of her world's technology, emphasizing its potential for peaceful application. Lena focused on the diplomatic angle, drafting communications to various planetary ambassadors, while Marcus and Kale secured commitments from their allies to stand with them. A Galactic Summit. The culmination of their efforts was a Galactic Summit, held on neutral territory within a space station orbiting a dormant star. Representatives from various worlds attended, intrigued by the promise of new technologies and the prospect of shifting the power structures that the consortium had long dominated. Alara stood before the assembly, her figure projected across the hall, delivering her message with clarity and poise. She spoke not only of her technology, but of her journey, her decision to find refuge on Earth, and her desire to live free from the consortium's control. Her speech resonated, touching on themes of freedom, innovation, and mutual prosperity. Turning tides. The summit was a turning point. Many representatives expressed their support for Alara, moved by her story and impressed by the potential of her ancestral technologies. The consortium, caught off guard by the widespread backing Alara received, found themselves on the defensive, their position weakened by the public exposure of their intentions. In the wake of the summit, formal agreements were drafted, and Alara's technology began to be shared under a collective oversight, ensuring it was used ethically and to the benefit of all. The consortium's influence receded, forced to adapt to a new reality where control was no longer centralized but dispersed among various galactic entities. Homecoming back on Earth, Alara and Lena watched the stars, now a tapestry of peace rather than a curtain of threats. Their home, once a fortress, became again a place of learning and growth. Alara continued to share her knowledge, working with Earth's scientists to integrate her technology in ways that benefited the planet without overwhelming it. Marcus, now a regular figure in their lives, helped maintain the connections they had forged across the stars. Taryn and Kale, having seen the impact of their efforts, remained involved, committed to protecting the new balance they had helped establish. In the quiet moments between the stars and the Earth, Lena and Alara found time to reflect. They had transformed from a makeshift family into defenders of a new paradigm. Their bond, formed under the shadow of conflict, had grown into a profound connection, one that spanned the cosmos. As they looked up at the night sky, no longer wary but filled with hope, they knew the universe was vast with possibilities, and in that vastness, they had carved out a place for themselves, a home where freedom and knowledge were the beacons guiding their way forward.